I think the biggest thing that I'm seeing right here um, is that I'd like to see the Kukulin. It's nice that he's kind of standing there, sort of protecting against the invade, but I'd like to see him kind of try to look for the soul laner, spot him out, and get a warrior stack or two. Like, the worst thing you're doing is trading warrior stacks, but the best thing you're doing is that the other person didn't get warrior stacks and you're building yours. It's usually a good thing when you pick up the item. I'm gonna watch duo, because they tend to be pretty exciting early. A little negative in trade, but that went positive onto their ADC, so I like that overall. The biggest thing that I'm seeing right now is you are standing really aggressive on the wave. I feel like you don't need to do that, but I like the pressure into their ADC. Just taking a little bit too much damage now. Good walk away from their support. But that's the big thing, is you kind of stood pretty far up. If they really wanted to go onto you, there's nothing saying that they couldn't have. Also cease mode. So we'll let that play through. But yeah, like right here, good damage onto their support. Really good. A nice auto pressure. That's kind of like what you want. Could have probably looked for the kill, but I agree. It most likely wasn't worth it. Because the more you walk out, the more likely that you are to take a lot of damage from their ADC. Yeah. Right now, should be a regaining clear advantage, because Geb is poked out and you guys aren't. So yeah, good. Autos onto the ADC, autos onto the wave. Get hit by that. You hit with that. You took a lot of poke there. So the reason is because you were tanking minions and your support wasn't. I'd like to see the support sort of try to tank minions, or at least stand a little bit further back as an ADC. Looks like mid jungle probably split maybe not completely equally, because you guys hit level 3 first, which is good. And our solo is a little bit ahead, presumably be from minion mechanics. And nice damage. Then back up. I guess probably wasn't avoidable damage, but the closer you are to the archers, the more likely you are to take archer damage. And that's the most significant damage that there is outside of melees, but most of the time you shouldn't be taking melees. If you're taking melees too, then you're kind of taking a lot of minion poke for no reason. Also, there's a jungler here, gets stunned, feeds, sprint, but I think you're just dead. So, I think what you should be more doing, okay, that's not the worst thing in the world, but you want to die sooner than later, because it's pretty much a guaranteed kill, and the earlier you die, the earlier you're walking out of base and getting back to wave and getting back to farming. The only positive there is that you're wasting their time as well. If you have lots of people chasing you and not just one, you're wasting their farming time. And you actually did get the blink out of the Red Husker, so that was pretty decent. Right now, the biggest lead is on the ADC. But yeah, and that comes down to you got killed and you missed out on, I'd say, like half a wave. But it's not the end of the world. You should be getting that 3rd level this wave, I believe. Interesting. I'm assuming Zek is having some internet troubles because I think the first one was paused by him and he's kind of the only one that looks like in an unplayable state. biggest thing that I'm seeing here is presumably due to the DC. Jungler is a little bit behind on stacks and experience. Okay. Yeah. So right now you're slightly behind in jungle and ADC. Interesting. Yeah, there's like 4 people there. Yeah, damn. That's kind of weird pathing. Like, I feel like they walked over that ward and you kind of walked towards them. But right here. Like, a little bit weird. Yeah, so you got the kill. You made it on the opposite side of the map from where they pressured earlier. That's good. I think it's not worth it though if you don't get the blue invade and it looks like you're actually gonna drop a kill. Looks like a missed ultimate. But yeah, I think it's safer to play off of your solo laner, 2-person invade that blue spawning, and utilize the fact that throwing ring toss onto blue buff confirms it's a ring bounce onto the Ratatosker, and trying to out secure it from him. I feel like that's the better play than just trying to raw ult him. This is good. Unfortunately, you're not 5, but this is good damage. I'd position more aggressively. Yeah, and you need to wait for the shell to fall off there. I think if you just keep chasing him, even if Geb tries to peel, you let the shell fall off and you 3, I think you get the kill there. Unfortunately, Zek dying again. Looks like no ultimates to use, just normal abilities. Still not 4. Just hit 5, interestingly enough. Yeah, and then that, you just kind of need Aegis, and you don't have it. You have beads. I actually think that's almost a mistake. I feel like the only thing into this comp that you really need beads for is Achilles one, and Achilles is on the opposite side of the map, and Gebel. Every single other thing that they can do to you is probably better off using Aegis. Like, Phantom Soul on the Chiron just has a lot of damage. He doesn't have a lot of control. You have the CC immunity in your ultimate. Geb, like, I actually think that you're 100% okay with going the no beads and Aegis option, and it's probably the better of the two. I feel like you would survive a little bit more if you went that direction instead, but kind of already got it, so it's just have to live with that decision for the rest of the game. Right now, again, slight disadvantage in mid jungle, mostly because of the kills that they're getting, and then a slight disadvantage in duo, but there is a slight advantage in solo, so that's good. I like the itemization choice. The pressure is nice, and he kind of just pushed you away. So, also, classic lag. But yeah, just clear wave, secure blue, and they just kind of rotated 3 people just to secure a blue buff, and that's fine. You have enough pressure in your lane that you made them do that, and there wasn't any punishment towards you. So that's a good play. So stasis mode, the damage onto him, weird dash direction, and yeah, you're probably gonna die. I like the ultimate. Let's see what you can get out of it. Not a lot, because the Geb tanked it, and that's just kind of 2 kills. Nice ultimate, but I think, yeah, it's gonna get traded out. That's super unfortunate. And I think it all comes down to they played that pretty well, and you guys kind of, like, Agni got went on and killed duo. Agni got went on, Then the Serb tried to sort of turn around with a good ultimate, but they played it pretty well. And then again, 1v3 when you already have like a level or 2 deficit. It's hard to fight into. And a nice solo kill, wow. I actually wasn't watching that. Nice job, Richard King. But yeah, sort of taking advantage of. I feel like at this point in the build, having the full warrior tabby and breastplate 2, and a fully stacked warrior's blessing, I felt like you had a much stronger build than. I think he literally just had shifter shield. So definitely taking advantage of that, finding yourself a 2-level lead. But unfortunately, the rest of the map is kind of down, and mid tower is super pressured. I think at this point in the game is kind of when you start looking for proxies. Yeah, you're level 5. You're fighting too much. You're 4 levels under. Like you can't be there. But yeah, I think as a solo laner, you're looking for the proxy, and you're looking to either invade shit or you're looking for the full rotation. Like literally walk over, fight, try to find a good fight, and if you can't find it, just back to base, buy your items, and teleport back into lane. Because teleport kind of gives you a little bit of flexibility in your plays like that. So definitely something to possibly look into, and maybe start working to your playstyle if you're finding these leads. Because definitely, I think it was very clearly on words that the jungler was the opposite of the map, and you very easily could have found backcams, proxies, and I think that's the biggest thing in solo is that proxies are very, very strong in the current state of the game. This is just, he literally has 4 levels on you, and the rotation finds 2. Yeah. So at this point, they've just kind of 4v4 fought, or 3v3 fought, or even better odds for the last 5 minutes or so, and they've kind of just won every fight. So they're really snowballing it at this point. You kind of need to take a step back, and at some point, you have to decide, hey, we fought the last 3 times and it didn't go well, maybe we shouldn't fight the 4th time. And it's kind of just realizing the state of the game, how big the deficits are. It's not too big in mid jungle, but they're really pushing the lead in duo, and you kind of have to realize that and play from under tower. Like, I don't know, I haven't seen it too much, but like holding the wave at tower line, making it really hard to gank into, and just farming up is kind of just what you need to do here. But damn, that's super unfortunate. Again, and that's just, he has a 6-level lead over your ADC. He has fully stacked Transcendence into 8 Dev's Glove stacks. Like, he can afford to do that now, and it's just something that you can't deal with. So, I think the game's just kind of gonna snowball at this point. And again, I think the biggest thing is that they found the level 5 gank with their mid jungle onto your ADC. At level 4, you didn't have your ult to sort of defensively counter initiate that and get out. So, and the Aegis pickup kind of, if you had the Aegis, I think you're dying a lot less here. So just those 2 things in conjunction really, really hurt. And then you guys just kind of kept picking fights in your jungle. Even if it's over purple, with the lead that they have and the rotations that they made, and barely not seeing those rotations in time to sort of make the decision to disengage, they just kind of were snowballing on you. And that's the game.